Not sure what really happened here. Special Assistant Jack and I took the green pearl here out for some crabbing yesterday, and that was an unmitigated disaster. It turned out we had 4 keepers by the time we were done after 4 hours. But somehow, this tooth right there on my winch got bent over backwards. I'm not sure what's going on with that, but it wouldn't even crank. It was like you had right past each one of them, and that's meant that I basically had to pay another $45–50 for another winch. And took out my implements of destruction and thought, it's already broken. I mean, worst case scenario, it's going to get thrown away. So I did some beating on it, and I think I got the tooth back in shape. And this winch isn't really critical for this boat because the boat is so light and it pretty much loads itself. It just locks it to the trailer. And as you can hear, the winds are picking up and the skies are darkening. Race boat life. It almost seems like a daily occurrence. Now it's time to take care of another mistake. In all honesty, it's been a couple days since we've last seen this same picture. And I know I was all excited about my discovery of research and finding out the right heat temp I wanted and all that good stuff. And I decided I was going to get the shorter, what I thought was tips. And when I looked at them last, I thought, this is a little strange. But, you know, this fits in a Gen 5 454 and a Mark IV 454, which are in the 19 and the Biesmeyer. What could be different before a 427? Well, it's the 291 heads. And the 291 heads were made prior to like 1969. I'm not really sure of the actual year, 67 to 69. And Chevrolet decided to go with a long plug. You can see the difference in the... And I wasn't even able to get the thing actually to thread up, and that was pretty telltale that I had the wrong plug. So I had to spend a couple days, do a little more research. I got these R44Ts. I wanted pretty much the same exact plug for this motor here. So I went out and I found these R44 LTS. And they are longer. And yes, I already checked to see if they fit. Another 3 days just sitting around. This is why I try to do something every day, because, you know, when you have a setback, it's not like, oh, I'll just wait till next weekend to do it. And not only that, this is almost like winter time here. Just looking over my second set of plugs down here, which all look fine. I don't really expect them to tell me much anyway with all the massive carburetor issues we had last year, and I'm sure they've gotten washed once or twice. So out with the old, in with the new. I have my third set of 4 plugs out of the front motor over here. And I may have just solved a bit of a mystery. I've always had issues with this motor, different than issues with that motor. And I can never understand why. The timing was a tiny bit off, and this one wanted to ping just a tiny bit when that one didn't, if the timing was set too differently. And I may have just solved that issue. I'm not really sure how this happened. Maybe it was just a desk jockey at the local parts store, but in the rear motor, I had these Motorcrafts 5164s, and from what I understand, they're pretty cool plugs. And I don't mean it by like, hey, I mean they're cool as in firing cool. They have extended tips, you know, the whole 9 yards. And I'm not going to get into the whole sciences of spark plugs because I probably don't understand most of it anyway. But in the front motor, I had these R45 TSs. And I thought I was stepping up to the R44s. The 45s are entirely too hot for that motor. And that's probably one of the reasons why I had a little bit of pinging issues and things like that, where I didn't have it with the other motor back there. So A day of discovery, not really sure how it happened. As I said, spark plugs seem to be, for a big block Chevy, seem to be a rare commodity in this area. So it could be something just as simple as I blew the rear motor up, went up to the local parts store and asked them for a comparable plug, and they came back with one that would actually fit in the hole. That's all that was necessary for them as far as they were really concerned. So I ended up with a real cool plug, and on the front motor I have a super hot plug. I'm glad I'm doing this. You may have also noticed that these are shorts that go in the front motor. Lucky I've got them already in stock, and number two, I'm going to make sure I put them in my little book. That way I don't have this confusion anymore. Now I know I've shown you all the master list here of projects a million times, where things are listed on it that are insanely complicated but overly simplified. You know, simple things like replace the rear plates in the Beesmeyer, or put new brackets on a 19's trailer. You know, it takes hours and hours and hours, and it's just simple little things down here. But this is my new list, and this is going to prevent me from ever having that issue with the race boat and the spark plugs again. Every time I do some kind of like normal maintenance, I write it down here, the date, which boat got it, what it is, and the part number that went with it. That way I don't have any more guesswork. I know exactly what's in it. You know, if I put an impeller in the 19, which I just recently did, the impeller is a Sherwood 10615K. A thermostat, it's a Sierra 183551, you know, for a 140 thermostat. When I put tires on, I mean, it's really hard to keep in track, you know, of 3 or 4 boats at a time. When was the last time I did tires? Seems like it was real recent, but why are they already cracked? So now I know what they are, when I did it, and what I did it with at my fingertips. And right on cue, it's starting to rain. I didn't even get a moment to enjoy it. I got the last plug in, put the plug wire on it, and I already hear it tapping on the top that was still on the boat. So, oh well, guess I'll enjoy it in my mind. I knew it, and it's here now, so I didn't even get to enjoy the moment. I had to grab everything I could as fast as I could and bail out and get out of the boat so I could put the top back on for it so it wouldn't get wet, and then I wouldn't trap all the water underneath of it and let it get moldy. So I'm done. Well, they're back again. It's like the 3rd time in 10 days we've lost power. Oh, I see what it is. We have ourselves a broken wire. Guess no exclusions today. Yep, broken cable. Okay. We have just been issued tornado warnings. Guess the radio station died in the process. This is where we'll cut in. It's already broken. What else can I do? You know. And as you can hear, the wind is picking up. In all honesty, it's been a couple days since we've seen this last so I went out and found these. Fine, but I really don't expect them to tell me much of anything anyway. Do that again. You may have also noticed that the ones we took out of the you may have no. Now I know you all have seen the cut.